And we are live, jazz hands. Okay, so I had promised that I was going to lighten things up some this week. And so I decided to do story time for 3 days in a row. And so today's story time is going to be about part of my journey. I identify as queer, but I wanted to talk about the very first time that I ever went out with a woman, what that was like for me. So I had known since I was a wee bit child that I was attracted to women. I will not tell y'all how I knew that, but I knew that I was attracted to women since I was younger because, I would look at women and I would like, oh, that looks really, really nice. But I didn't know how to really conceptualize it because I never saw any examples of how I could identify in those realms. But that's neither here nor there. That's not the point of the story. So, the first time I went out with a woman, I dated a woman. So, for this to make sense, you have to understand my personality. If I were a lesbian, I would probably be what's called an aggressive film or more aggressive film. That means I enjoy pursuing. I don't necessarily like being pursued initially. I like to approach individuals if I am attracted to them or something, I vibe with them. I like to approach individuals. And so I had noticed this young lady, and she caught my attention when I first saw her. And we would have conversations here and there, and I would just vibe, nice little vibe with her. And I really enjoyed the conversations that she and I had. So at this time, my best friend was this guy, and he was in my ear about, oh, you got to be careful because the person was masculine presenting. Oh, you got to be careful because they'll try to switch you over and stuff, convert you. But he had no idea that I was naturally attracted to women. And so what he did not know was I was the person pursuing her. And so I was interested in her. I wanted to get to know her more. And I wanted to go out on a date with her. And so this is what I did. I decided one day, I said, you know what? Because it was a certain place in time that I would see her. I don't know if it was a Thursday or Wednesday, but I always saw her during this time. Same time every week. And I said, I am going to get dressed up in the dress that I felt the most prettiest in because it was wintertime. And I want to throw on some nice little boots. And I'm going to go straight up to her. And, I was like, I'm going to ask her out. And so I got dressed up, got dolled up. My hair was on point, and I saw her, and I went up. I went up to her. We were just chatting, and I just said, "Hey, we should go out sometimes. I would like to go out on a date with you." And she was immediately receptive. Immediately receptive. I was so happy. And we decided to go out on a date that night. So we went out to dinner. And when I tell you the date was amazing, it was so amazing. We had such a good time. We listened to spoken word artists. We had dinner. It was really, really great. We listened to some great music, and we decided afterwards that we were gonna walk around the city for a while. And I remember she she had come she had come up to me, and we were like hugging under a street light. The lighting was really, really nice. And so we started hugging, and then we kissed. It was like such a romantic, amazing kiss. Um, to where it was it was almost like kissing someone that you had the biggest crush on for the longest, and you finally were able to kiss them for the first time. So we actually went for a walk. We went for a walk, and I con it was like we were talking about everything. The mood was right because it was nighttime. It was my favorite time. And not only the mood, when the mood was right, but also, it was just the temperature, the cool of the night was perfect. And it was just a really, really, really good, enjoyable time. And I had never laughed so much before with someone. And I love to laugh with a partner. That's one thing that I have to say that I enjoy. It's like I love laughing. And she really gave me an opportunity to laugh. Now, fast forward, um we had gone out a couple of times, and we did get to a point to where we became intimate. And when you become intimate with somebody, you find out like who you are and the things that you like. And I realized that I was more of the I don't want to say aggressive one, but more of the dominant one in the space. And so, that was just something that I had become accustomed to. And so, anyway, it was a beautiful, beautiful experience. We were not, in the long run, a good fit for each other. Just personality wise, not personality wise, but more along the lines of just where we were in life. Where we were in life and what we were really, really looking for. Um, and the thing that I did not like about the situation is she actually would call me the N word. She was like, "Oh, you're a straight N word," and say that I acted like a dude a lot. Because I would always say, when I am done with the situation, I was like, done, hands off. And that also meant that I was not talking to you at all. I'm not trying to text you. I'm not trying to come see you. I'm not doing any of those things. That's one thing that is an absolute truth for me. One of my absolute truths. If I tell you that I am done, I'm done. I'm done. And I think that part of it, she didn't really adapt well with that. And so we're cool now. We're cool now. But I think a lot of the things that I took away from that situation, that, interaction and dating her, was that I knew, um, I knew the type of person that would be a good fit for me. And I knew how I would want to interact with my future partner. So my experience with her really helped me understand like how I wanted to interact with my future partner. and I don't think I would have gotten to that point if it wasn't for her. Um, and us dating. And so, I'm always appreciative for that. But I mean, like I was talking about with my with Char Thriller, at the end of the day, it is really just dating another human being and seeing if there's a vibe there, and if there's a vibe, you go with the flow, and you enjoy a person's company, and it feels good. It feels good to be in that space, and it feels good to where when you can don't have to hide who you are. Now, I will say that I did end up losing probably one of the best friends I've ever had, because of that particular relationship, because they were not in agreement with it, because it was a woman, and I had to make the decision that I didn't really want any toxic thoughts, because they weren't a toxic person, but I didn't want any toxic thoughts around who I knew I was. And, that was like probably the biggest blow that I ever had. Well, not that I ever had, but at that time that I had, because I thought that I would be friends with that person forever. And, when the relationship, the friendship discontinued, it was very, I was like, I couldn't see myself. Like, it was like, I always went to that person for guidance and, for wisdom. And the universe had placed me in a very difficult but beautiful position to where I had to look to myself and to the universe for guidance and wisdom, and realize that all the wisdom and guidance that I was thinking that I was getting from another person, I had the capacity, the internal and emotional and mental capacity to develop that wisdom and utilize it within myself. And so, even though that was a hard situation to go through, it was very necessary, because I would have never really grown into myself without that happening. Because I felt like that friendship was more like training wheels in life for when I was going through a very difficult time. And at some point, the training wheels have to come off. And so when I was dating that young woman, the training wheels of that person who had supported me had to come off. And I had to learn how to stand on my own and inspire and look at my own wisdom, for things. And I'm very happy with that growth. So a lot of things came out of that, of dating that young woman that still impact me to this day, and they impact me in a amazing and wonderful, wonderful way. Um, and it also, on from a therapist perspective, it really opened me up to making sure that I am letting people know that I'm LGBTQ aligned and friendly, as well as a member of the community, so that they can feel comfortable. Because when I was going through that matter with my ex best friend, it was, I needed a LGBTQ aligned therapist, and that's what I wanted. And I was able to find a wonderful one who helped me through that moment, and I have one now. So it's like really really important for me to be able to support my community, in terms of the things that we go through. And so I'm happy I'm able to do that. But that is just a quick story. I wasn't going to go into any like raunchy details or anything like that. But that's the quick story of just my first dating, open dating experience with a woman. This is a a warning, a trigger warning for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Well, no, I said I want to keep this week light, so I'm gonna keep this week light. And next week we'll have trigger warnings for some of the videos next week, and I'll like try to put those out so that you all can make sure that you're not triggered by anything. But thanks for watching, and I will hop on again tomorrow, and we will have Relationship Fridays with Char Thriller on Friday. All right. Bye, everyone.